Hello, everyone, and welcome to Bookercast, the podcast where books come to life.
And I'm so excited to dive into another amazing story with all of you.
Whether you're a bookworm or just love a good story, this is the place for you.
Every episode, we explore incredible books, talk about their stories and characters, and share insights that'll make you fall in love with reading all over again.
All right, let's not keep you waiting any longer. Get comfortable, and let's jump right into it.
Sounds good.
All right, ready to dive in. Today, we're taking a deep look at Chris Whitaker's All the Colors of the Dark.
It's one of those books, more than just a mystery.
Oh, absolutely. Gets under your skin.
Exactly. Trauma, redemption, that search for truth, all packed into this unsettling little town.
You hit the nail on the head with unsettling. We're talking Montclair, right up against the Ozark Plateau.
And those St. Francois Mountains, always looming.
Like the whole town's holding its breath.
Yeah.
And then there's Patch, 13 years old.
Seeing the world, well, a bit differently.
And that's crucial. The eye patch, the pirate obsession.
Even a skull and crossbones carved right on his house.
It's not just a quirk, is it? It's how he defines himself, even before everything changes.
And then it happens.
Patch vanishes, gone.
In the woods, playing pirates with his best friend, Saint.
And this isn't just kids messing around. His disappearance, it rips the town apart.
Especially for Saint, you feel her need for answers.
So determined. Like with her beekeeping, everyone told her no.
But she wouldn't give up. And that's Saint all over, isn't it? That same tenacity, searching for Patch.
But there's something else there too, right? Like holding on to the past.
Keeping Patch alive in her mind.
The trauma becomes her driving force.
And it's not just her. There's Misty.
Another classmate. Her own terrifying experience, those same woods.
Unspoken link, wouldn't you say, between her trauma and Patch's disappearance.
Adds a whole other layer to the mystery. And Whitaker, he doesn't shy away.
Shows the lasting impact.
It's not just a plot device. It shapes them. Their actions, relationships, everything.
Woven into their very being.
Then we meet Eli Aaron.
Ah, yes. The photographer.
So unsettling. Takes school pictures.
Yeah.
Becomes a prime suspect.
And that scene at his house, isolated, creepy.
Chilling. Saint finds something truly disturbing there.
Eli, I think he represents something like this undercurrent of darkness.
Running right through the town. You know, when I read that scene, shivers.
Whitaker does that, gets under your skin.
Builds suspense so subtly. And it's not just cheap thrills.
No, it's deeper. He uses it to explore these big themes. Guilt, forgiveness, redemption.
Each character grappling with their past.
Saint, Misty, even Patch, they're all searching for peace.
Trying to make sense of it all. It's not just who did it.
It's why.
Exactly. And the symbolism. So brilliant. Colors, light, darkness.
Like another language.
Expressing their inner turmoil. You're invited to read between the lines.
Uncover those hidden depths.
And his writing, so captivating. A few words, you're right there.
That Ozark heat, you can feel it.
The mountains, the humidity, and then the timelines.
Shifting back and forth.
Keeps you guessing, trying to piece it together, just like the characters.
Like we're experiencing their trauma firsthand.
Makes you question everything. What's real? What's imagined?
All the colors of the dark, it makes you think, doesn't it?
Stays with you. It really does.
Yeah.
But let's focus on Saint for a minute.
She's more than just a grieving friend.
Oh, so much more. Fiercely independent, resourceful.
Always had to fight for everything. Remember that scene with her grandmother? The beekeeping?
She won't be underestimated. And her bond with Patch.
So deep, like their own language.
The beautiful scene, the purple honey.
Offering him hope in a dark world. But their relationship.
It's complicated, isn't it? Patch, he puts on this tough guy act.
But underneath, he's carrying so much pain.
Trying to be strong, painting Saint's window frame.
Trying to make his mark be seen. And Saint, she's guarded too.
Pushing people away. Jimmy Walters. All she can see is finding Patch.
Consumed by it. Grief, guilt, that overwhelming need.
And she doesn't back down from anyone, even Chief Nix.
Challenging him, pushing him to look deeper.
Remember, Eli Aaron, the dog.
A tiny detail, but it shows you Saint sees everything, won't let anything slip by.
Like an unofficial detective?
Driven by that lead for truth, and she's fearless, going to Eli's house alone.
Putting herself at risk, one of the most suspenseful parts of the book.
A turning point. It confirms something truly sinister is happening.
And her discovery there. It's chilling. Adds another layer to the case.
The darkness runs deeper than anyone imagined. Appearances can be so deceiving.
Speaking of disturbing, Eli Aaron. Whitaker reveals his true nature so slowly.
Chilling how he blends in.
Seems so ordinary, but with these dark secrets.
A reminder that evil can wear a friendly face, lurking right next door.
And the book doesn't hold back. The brutality, the scene with the snake tanks.
Vivid, unsettling, speaks volumes about the danger hidden beneath the surface.
Powerful imagery, isn't it? Feeling trapped.
And foreshadowing the violence to come.
Building, then that fire.
Consuming Eli's house, purification, but also destruction.
The end of his terror, but the scars remain. And in the aftermath,
Patch returns.
Buddy's changed.
Profoundly, the psychological impact, it's explored so well.
Relief, but also anxiety. He's proof of what happened.
His reemergence, it raises new questions, identity, memory, trauma.
And his relationship with Saint.
Forever altered, they try to reconnect, but
There's this barrier.
a gulf. Years of separation and what they've both endured.
Haunted by ghosts.
The past, the uncertainty. Patch's journey, reclaiming his life.
It's just beginning, facing the trauma, the guilt.
And he knows, not all the girls were as lucky. The search continues.
He's drawn into it, seeking justice, taking him to some dark places.
Difficult questions. The cycle of violence, trauma passed down. Can true redemption exist?
And then there's Misty.
Unlikely ally.
Their connection adds another layer.
Forgiveness. Finding solace in unexpected places. Hope, even in the darkest times.
Years pass. Patch is older, working odd jobs, still haunted. He reconnects with Saint.
She's a police officer now.
Their paths keep crossing, both searching for answers.
Roles reversed. Saint in authority, Patch on the fringes.
Their shared history, so much tension, still care, but their lives different.
That unspoken understanding, Whitaker's dialogue, so subtle.
Remember when Saint tells Patch about her own experience? Domestic violence.
Yeah.
So raw.
Vulnerability we haven't seen before. Everyone carries hidden wounds.
Sharing them, a step towards healing. But it also shows their trust.
The power of their bond, forged in hardship, strengthened by their shared search.
And Patch, his search leads him to a clue. Grace? Maybe she's still alive.
Hope rekindled, but it pulls him back into the darkness.
Facing his demons, leading him to Eli.
Confrontation. Tense. Eli taunting him. Cryptic clues. Grace might still be out there.
But playing mind games, too. The power he still holds.
And Patch's discovery. Shattering his perception of the past. Questioning everything.
A game changer, everything up in the air. A truth that could set him free, but
Destroy everything he holds dear. A race against time.
unraveling the lies, finding grace before it's too late, facing his own demons.
The past never truly fades. Scars linger.
And Saint, caught in the crossfire, her loyalty tested.
The choices we make for those we love, right and wrong, become blurred.
The climax. Patch, Saint, a choice that determines everything.
A culmination. Confronting the darkness within and the world around them.
And the ending. Satisfying yet, thought-provoking, closure, but questions remain. Truth, justice, hope.
Whitaker's a master. Suspense, characters, themes. It stays with you.
Reminding us, even in darkness, there's redemption. Healing. Finding beauty in unexpected places.
But before we get into specifics, the moments, the symbols.
Let's take a pause. When we come back, we'll unpack it all. How all the colors of the dark fits into modern storytelling.
So many moments, so many symbols. That purple honey, it really stands out. What do you think?
Right, it's striking. The first time Saint tells Patch about it, the sandhills of North Carolina, almost mythical.
Like a lifeline.
Exactly. Rare, beautiful, hidden away. But is there something else there too? A false hope, maybe?
Oh, I like that. Something he clings to that might not even be real.
Makes you think, doesn't it? Hope. Especially when you're dealing with trauma, comfort, or delusion.
And it keeps coming back, that image. When things are really bad for Patch, he uses it to survive.
A shield against the darkness.
A touchstone, right. The life he lost and the hope of finding his way back.
But it also shows how the adults in his life, they failed him.
His mother, with her stories, maybe it's her way of coping with her own guilt.
Makes you wonder about storytelling itself. Escape? Or a way to heal?
Big questions. And that skull and crossbones on Patch's house, early on it seems almost playful.
But then, as the story goes on,
It changes, doesn't it?
at first, just his pirate thing. But it becomes like a mark of his trauma.
The way he's misunderstood because he's different.
Even before he disappears. And after, it's even heavier. A symbol of his captivity, how he's marked.
Appearances, right. We judge so quickly without seeing what's underneath.
Exactly. And then there's the color blue, his eye patch, the star, hook-handed Pete.
That blue star, so many layers. Innocence, the girl Pete kills, But then the guilt he carries.
And memory. Patch's choice of blue, his mother trying to protect him from the reality of his disability.
Pirate stories, making the eye patch into something, not a burden.
A badge of honor.
We use stories to cope, to make sense of things.
And that blue star, it connects him back to before the trauma when things felt safe.
Whitaker, the way he shifts timelines, perspectives, masterful. Patch, Saint, even Eli Aaron.
Keeps you on your toes, trying to piece it all together.
The fragmented nature of memory, especially after trauma. Fact, fiction, blurring together.
And the language he uses. So vivid. A few words, and you're right there. The heat, the pine needles.
All the senses. It's an experience.
The Ozark landscape. The mountains, the forests, the heat.
Like the setting is a character itself, weighing down on everyone.
And the emotional landscape. He doesn't shy away from the ugliness, but
there's also resilience, love, forgiveness.
glimmers of hope, even in the darkest moments.
That balance is what makes it so compelling, challenging, uncomfortable, but
affirming. The power of connection, healing.
And it's relevant, isn't it? Trauma searching for truth in this world of information overload.
It speaks to our time, but it's also timeless.
Love, loss, grief, hope, universal.
The impact, I think it's because he leaves you with questions. That unease.
Good literature does that. Makes you think, challenges you, expands your understanding.
It's not just entertainment.
It's about enlightenment. And before we wrap up, Grace. We have to talk about Grace.
She's like a ghost, haunting the whole story.
We see glimpses, memories, his artwork, the stories he tells, but never her own perspective.
It's like she's mythical, shrouded in mystery.
Keeping her just out of reach. So effective. Hope and loss all wrapped up in one.
The things we hold on to even when we know they're gone. The unattainable.
And it makes you question memory, perception, how trauma distorts things, the power of stories.
And the ending. So powerful. Letting go, accepting, Patch becoming a father to Charlotte.
Sometimes letting go, it's the hardest thing, but also the most freeing.
Accepting that we can't change the past, but we can choose how we move forward.
Finding peace in the present.
The connections we make, the love we give and receive.
Beautiful. It's a message we all need, I think.
Trauma or not, we all have things we cling to, but finding a way to live with the wounds.
Accepting what is. Moving forward with grace.
And that's what makes this book so powerful. Darkness, pain, complexity, but also
hope, healing, the power of connection.
Well said. Now, before our final thoughts and some questions for you, the listeners.
The beauty of Whitaker's writing. Some lines, they just stay with you.
Absolutely. Describing Grace's voice, a song and a language he didn't understand but felt in his bones.
Evocative, that connection we feel, beyond words, beyond logic.
Recognition even when someone's gone.
And this one, about Patch's portraits. The truest portraits show the cracks, the flaws where the light doesn't reach.
Profound. True beauty, not perfection.
Authenticity, embracing imperfection.
And redemption, right.
Yeah.
Acknowledging our brokenness. Finding peace.
Beauty in the darkness. Healing, loving the broken pieces of ourselves and others.
Beautifully said. All the colors of the dark, so powerful. Darkness, but also light.
Hope, the resilience of the human spirit. Love, forgiveness, connection.
So as we come to the end of our deep dive, new insights, new perspectives.
What stayed with you? What questions are you left with?
Join us on social media, share your thoughts. What would you ask Chris Whitaker?
We want to hear your insights. Keep the conversation going. Thanks for joining us.
So much to unpack with this book. But that idea of truth, how it's not always clear-cut, it sticks with me.
It's something we all wrestle with, isn't it? Not knowing what to believe. Especially these days, information overload.
Exactly. Whitaker makes you question everything. Dig deeper, look beyond the surface.
And realize there's not always one right answer. Multiple perspectives, multiple truths, even in one story.
It's right there in how he tells the story, too. The shifting timelines, the different points of view.
You have to work for it, piece it together like the characters, and confront your own biases along the way.
It's like he's saying, don't just take things at face value.
Exactly. Look closer. Question everything. Decide for yourself what you believe.
And that's a powerful message. In today's world, we need that more than ever.
Critical thinking. We have to be careful what we choose to believe.
You know, that idea of truth, it ties into Grace, too.
How so?
You never really get the full picture of her, do we? She's this enigma.
Intriguing, isn't she? Existing more as a symbol.
Absolutely. It shows how powerful perception is. Our experiences, our biases, they shape how we see others.
Especially those we love. We see Grace through Patch's eyes, his trauma, his longing,
But who was she, really? Outside of that, we don't know.
a blank canvas. For Patch's hopes, his fears, his guilt.
And because of that, she can be so many things. Lost innocence, unattainable love, the power of memory.
The ending, though, when Patch finally lets go of that search and chooses to be a father to Charlotte.
Powerful. Healing. Acceptance.
Sometimes letting go is the hardest thing, but it can also be the most freeing.
Realizing you can't change the past, but you can choose what comes next, how you define yourself.
And build a better future.
Finding peace in the present, in the connections we make, the love we share.
It's a message we all need.
Trauma or not, we all have things we wish we could change. But it's about finding a way to live with those scars.
Accepting what is. Moving forward with grace.
And that's why this book stays with you. Darkness, pain, but also hope.
The possibility of healing. The power of love, forgiveness, connection.
All the colors of the dark. Acknowledges the tough stuff, but doesn't leave you there.
Hope. Reminds us of the strength of the human spirit.
It's a story that makes you think, challenges you, leaves you with a deeper understanding of the world, of ourselves.
And that's what we want to leave you with today as we wrap up this deep dive.
We've explored so much, the characters, the symbolism, the writing. But now, it's your turn.
What resonated with you? What are you still thinking about?
Head over to our social media. Let's discuss. Well, what would you ask Chris Whitaker if you could?
We want to hear your insights. Keep this conversation going.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into all the colors of the dark.
And that's a wrap for today's episode of BookerCast. We hope you enjoyed diving into it as much as we did. Thank you so much for spending your time with us. Your support means the world, and we can't wait to hear your thoughts on this episode.
Don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, and share this episode with your fellow book lovers. And let us know your thoughts in the comments below. We love hearing from you. See you in the next deep dive. Bye for now, and happy reading.